It's been a great set of episodes, and from the looks of the end of episode 40, we're heading towards the end of the whole season. So let's just get into it. Episode 36 begins with Baku and Nemu being saved by Nox. 3 still being able to steal away the Extreme Driver. Shig appears in the command center, explaining that it's like how dead relatives appear in people's dreams. But since he's now dependent on Baku and Nemu's memories of him, he gets banished in a pretty funny scene, and let me just say this now, I think Shig is so much funnier than Gem. And throughout the season so far, they don't run the joke into the ground. Like they did with Gem in X8, which why I found it so grating. Meanwhile, 3 gets Minami kidnapped and placed in Zero's cell. By the way, the kidnapping scene is kind of way too real. Minami getting ambushed by several people and being chloroformed, which is kind of a shock to me. After this heinous act, 3 immediately threatens Baku and taunts him with this to lure him into attacking. Code is kind of a piece of Baku then heads to Code to save Minami, Nox attacking separately to fight 3. However, with the use of 3's Capsem with modifications using Somnia, 3 steals Nox's will and turns him against Baku, unwillingly returning to Code. Baku only escaping with the help of the Plasma Capsem. Further in, he encounters 5 and bests him in a fight, pointing out Code's hypocrisy and if Korea's death affected him at all. Baku swearing to protect the world from both nightmares and Code. This episode ending with Baku successfully saving both Minami and Zero from Code's dream prison. Zero preparing to recreate the Zeztz driver for his son. And 3 ordering Nox to assassinate Baku. This smoothly takes us to episode 37, where it's revealed that Fujimi became a conspiracy theory streamer, believing Odaka is being hidden by his former employer in the PSB. What looks to be an attack spurs Baku into action and is just revealed to be Nazca, stopping Fujimi from spreading restricted information publicly. The setting then shifts under the control of Nox, who's here to kill Baku under the orders of 3. Meanwhile, Zero works on the Zeztz driver, Nemu accidentally summoning Zig, which is the first time Minami and Zero physically share a space with him. Although Minami still sees him as a 2D character like Nemu, thanks to Somnia. In the real world, 3 puts Zero in a machine that keeps him awake, noticing that he's moved in the dream and creating the Zeztz driver. Zero putting his full support on his son, saying he can protect the world from nightmares without any additional consequences or sacrifices. A statement 5 is clearly affected by thanks to his previous interaction with Baku. And in an ingenious move, Sig attacks Zero's dream body, knocking him out the real world and allowing him to return to the dream world, allowing him to eventually complete the Zeztz driver. Zero then leaves Sig in the dust, racing out to reach Baku and deliver the Zeztz driver. Baku in severe injury fighting untransformed against a rider. Fujimi intervenes trying to reach his former partner, reminding him of who he was before, an honorable person who wants to protect others from the nightmares he discovered. On his way, Zero encounters 5 and successfully persuades him to his side, reminding him of their past and their true mission. 5 letting him through and handing him his shock capsem as well. Baku receiving the driver and allows him to fight and restore Nox's will. Fujimi expresses his desire to cooperate, but Nox still declines to fight alongside them, wanting to fight Code alone. Meanwhile, 5 leaves 3's command and we learn the price of his honorable decision, death in the hands of 3, a bomb planted in his car. A little sidebar to this because I'm really disappointed they decided to off 5 and 6 since they really are interesting characters. After learning a bit of 5's backstory, I'm kind of swayed to like his character. But their deaths illustrates how bad Code is and how worse they can be. A corrupt organization that serves more themselves than the people they swore to protect. There is also a character we need to visit, the lady, who's been experiencing illusions brought about by Phantom, pretending to be her daughter, tormenting her in different ways. Nox saves her from one of these illusions and as he requests, Phantom takes him into a deeper part of his nightmare. Baku, Fujimi and Nazca now pursuing Nox in the dream world, who's trying to claim the Darkness Nightmare for himself. Baku follows Nox in his nightmare, with Fujimi following suit. Fujimi hinting at Nazca that he's still feeling responsible for Nox's current state. Never giving up on his subordinate, Fujimi tries to remind him of how they used to be. Nox, impressed with Fujimi being able to sustain his sense of justice and responsibility even at the influence of Code Somnia. With the will of exposing the darkest truths to light, Nox gains the power of Midnight Shadow. Not eternal darkness as Phantom thought, but a beacon of light from its deepest depths. Fujimi continues to stream, revealing the existence of Code to the public, Nazca warning him to stop. Fujimi getting shot in the arm in the middle of this argument by 3. The two escaping with the help of Nox, challenging 3 once again. Nox's Midnight Shadow form debuts, and I love the Capsem's gimmick. Nox's 2-slot driver with 2 spinning gears that enable his transformation. Although his suit is a little bare, the best feature of the suit being the arms, the head, and the shoulders. The design focusing more on the spiral motif. In motion, the design reminds me of most Ultraman suits, which tend to focus the details of the character design in the torso area. Nox effortlessly fights off 3 in his full power, successfully defeating him and reducing him into a testimony of his own sins in the real world. Meanwhile, Baku successfully infiltrates Code, reclaiming his driver and heading to destroy Code Somnia. The aforementioned Capsem disappearing before Baku can destroy it. The next episode starts directly from everyone learning that the Somnia Capsem is missing. Zero issuing a mission in English that his son doesn't understand. We're kinda back to how everything started in the 6th to 10th episode of the series, where Baku has created a secure support cast and Zero is back to his former role as his mentor and supervisor. A man, Kinosuke, is released from prison with his brother, Ginji, waiting for him outside, welcoming him back to... what? Robbery of small items? And suddenly the old lion man grew a gun arm. Amazing. Meanwhile, the Paranormal Affairs Division is reinstated with the chief getting revenge from Fujimi with the same octopus hold that got him fired. They're immediately deployed on a car theft case that's confirmed to have been done under the influence of a nightmare. The aforementioned perpetrators having an argument because Ginji shot the car owner. Kinosuke pointing out that as robbers, they don't hurt people. Ginji defiantly reminding him that it was their dream to become big-time thieves, separating from his brother, shooting someone down after trying to steal their car. He then turns into the gun nightmare, only to be eradicated seconds after. Nemu then calls Baku, only to be intercepted by Zeke, who lies about having the Somnia Capsen to lure him into another fight. Nemu and Baku have a conversation about Zeke and the Somnia Capsem. Nemu pointing out if Zeke fusing with the punishment nightmare twisted his mind somehow, which is a possibility because in his flashback, Zeke was an unforgiving vigilante with no remorse for any criminal or the corrupt. Fujimi and Nazca catch up with Kinosuke to inform him about his brother's passing. Kinosuke refusing to tell on his brother on his honor as a criminal, which I guess is an indication to his real character. Suspecting that Zeke has the Somnia Capsem, Nox confronts Zeke and traps him in an illusion. Baku entering that illusion to beat the bejesus out of him, using O'Derm to separate him from the punishment nightmare, who leaves Zeke promptly in his dismay. Meanwhile, the lady is having the worst time of her life. The Phantom Nightmare telling her that the day nightmares become real is approaching. Zeke is still upset about his separation from Punishment, while Punishment himself is preparing for something. Zeke explaining to Nemu how Punishment has existed for millions of years, revealing that Somnia connected everyone's dreams, and now the Gore Nightmares want control over the dream world. Kinosuke having a nightmare where Punishment visits him and he receives a gun arm similar to his brother. Fujimi and Nazca informing that the same is happening for other repeat offending criminals. Meanwhile, Zero gathers the leadership of Code, confronting them with 3's overuse of Code Somnia under their approval. Zero accepting punishment, while the rest of them showing how corrupt they are, pointing guns at him. Using Booster, he knocks them all out. intending to reveal the world of their oversight. Minami brings this news to Baku, who's feeling a bit lost. Minami advising him to make meaningful decisions because now he really is an invincible secret agent. In a juxtaposition, another brother heeds the advice of their sibling, Kinosuke deciding to fulfill his brother's ambition on becoming a bigger criminal. Baku catches up to Kinosuke, trying to talk him out of what he's doing, sharing his trip with him, inferring that even though he did become a secret agent, so much corruption goes on with it that actual evil sometimes passes by, still wanting to make people's dreams a little better. Kinosuke shoots him in the side, but is given first aid by Nemo in his dreams. Baku heading towards punishment in the effort to save Kinosuke and stop whatever punishment is planning. Baku intercepts him, with Nox joining in to fight. The fight scene is impressive, but is kind of too quick and abrupt. A little too easy for what's a nightmare that's existed for millions of years. His defeat did allow Kinosuke to revert back to human and is arrested promptly by Fujimi and Nazca. But suddenly, punishment immediately resurrects, retreating away to somewhere, revealing that Phantom and the new Oblivion Nightmare has Somnia, the two reuniting with the other Gore Nightmares, starting the final chapter of Kamen Rider Zeztz. And I can't wait for the next episode. I've seen the previews, but I can't watch it yet. And it looks to be very wild. And that's it for me. Thank you for watching if you got this far. Like, share, and subscribe, do YouTube things and all that. See you on the next one.